49ers quarterback Brock Purdy aced a pre-draft cognitive test. This came out recently in The Athletic. Matt Barrows wrote it. Been working with Matt Barrows a long time. Great guy. Read the article. If you have a subscription, I don't. Sorry.
Yeah.
I made a decision not to pay for any subscriptions.
I don't know why they do that format. They should just have advertisements like everyone else.
That's what I would say. Anyway, I've read excerpts though, and clearly it's supposed to be an updated Wonderlic. Like kind of like how the 40s, the 40-yard dash is outdated. You really look at like acceleration and then full stride speed, like miles per hour and stuff like that. Well, I think they're thinking that the Wonderlic's a little outdated and it's not necessarily testing quarterbacks' mental aptitude in ways that transfer to the NFL field. And I think there's a new one, and the exact results don't come out because it's private information. But according to this new test, Brock Purdy was like off the charts. And I think the Niners are now thinking that in terms of like he could be the next Drew Brees, because what made Drew Brees was he was the fastest, best decision maker, and he was accurate. Was he a great athlete? No. Was he big? No. Did he have a strong arm? No. Now, Drew Brees was 101. But what do you think of this information about this test that he took last year?
Well, it's good that it's evolving. I mean, I think a lot of the stuff that scouts do to analyze draft prospects is getting a little outdated, and it seems to be an advancement. I think it's important. Obviously, decision-making, how you process things, how quickly you process things is extremely important, maybe one of the most important things, especially in Kyle Shanahan's offense. I would say that's one of the most important things for them. So the fact that Brock Purdy tested well on this, what is it, a psychological test is what they're calling it, or cognitive test, it's not surprising based on the way he played. I know Trey Lance tested really well on this as well. So, good things. That's a good thing. And hope maybe this is a way to forward what scouts need to do is look for quarterbacks with experience, accuracy in college, and then they test well on this new test. We'll see. I know that the things are constantly evolving. They did the Wonderlic for a while. Now that's changed. So who knows how long this is going to go and if it ends up being the true measure. But it's good to hear that Brock Purdy tested so high on it, that Trey Lance tested so high on it, and it's not a surprise Brock Purdy's been successful.
Yeah, apparently Brock Purdy was in like the 90th percentile, and maybe Trey Lance was in the 80th percentile, but both, if you're above 80, you're in the elite range anyway. And I think they felt that Trey was the highest in his draft class in this test, and that Purdy was the highest too. Now, if they really thought it was the most important metric, maybe Purdy would have been a first round pick. But maybe now that teams have seen that this translates, all of a sudden, remember in the movie Waterboy when the Waterboy starts to tear it up the whole league and everyone's trying to find the next Waterboy and they got like a towel boy and they just get I don't know. I mean, people looking for the next Brock Purdy might find some really bad quarterbacks this year. But if this thing is predictive, this aptitude test, apparently Mahomes was off the charts as well. Maybe we'll start seeing fewer busts, and instead of people just banking on athletes with strong arms, maybe it'll be that plus a better mental test.
Well, it makes you wonder what the Waterboy's test scores would have been. But also, if they can find someone with these high test scores, but that also has arm strength and size, maybe that's the key, right? I think the only thing holding Brock Purdy back talent-wise would be his size and arm strength. So, if you could find the arm strength, the size, and these high cognitive test scores, that may be your future Hall of Fame quarterback, your franchise quarterback that you're looking for. So.
What I don't like about this, though, is it kind of makes it seem like it's the most important thing for a quarterback. Yeah. And I would disagree with that. Maybe it's the most important thing for a quarterback in Kyle Shanahan's offense because Kyle Shanahan's offense is unnecessarily complicated. Now, he's good at what he does, but it's so complicated and everyone knows it, and it's not necessarily like young athlete friendly. It's not like let's get the best athletes in college football and throw them in here. Like, no, there's a learning curve.
Right.
So if that's what you're looking for, then all of a sudden this is really important. But maybe instead of just drafting the smartest players, maybe you still want to draft the best athletes. And maybe you want to adjust your scheme so that the best athletes can flourish in it.
Yeah.
Anyway, just saying.
Maybe it's a combination. I think there's some things that are just like you just can't see until they're in the game. And maybe this test does push that, push towards those unseen things. But I think a lot of guys are just gamers, man, and you can't really tell what you got until you see it on the field, So I don't know. And also I think it depends on the offense as well. Kyle Shanahan's offense, I think this score might matter more because it's about quick decision-making and accuracy. So maybe.
And it's about Kyle.
It's about Kyle. Yeah.
It's about Kyle. That's what I don't like about this. Is I feel like Kyle he doesn't really respect the quarterback position. You know, he's not looking for an artist out there who can take over and be the star. Steve Young, John Elway, Joe Montana. He wants like an Intel Pentium 2 processor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, just freaking read the defense as fast as possible and get the ball to the right person as fast as possible. It's not that hard. And it almost makes it seem like he thinks he could do it. Like, he's smart. Yeah, I'm hella smart. I always know where to go with the ball. Like, I could do it. And it's like, yeah, man, maybe that's why you've gone through 15 quarterbacks in 7 years. You know what I mean? Like, there's more to the position. That's a big part of it. But there's so much more to the position than just processing and toughness.
Yeah.
Because, frankly, toughness is a joke. He always says he wants toughness in a quarterback. That's why his quarterbacks get hurt so much, because you're not protecting them. And you got to protect them. There is no toughness, man. They're 100 pounds. They're 150 pounds smaller than the guys hitting them. No, protect your quarterback and get an athlete back there. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many 6-foot guys? Now, to Brock Purdy's credit, he is an athlete. But still, I mean, he's a little fella.
I don't understand why toughness is an issue. I mean, all these guys are tough at this point. You make it to the NFL, you're a quarterback, you've been hit your whole life. They're all tough. What is he implying by like what's the opposite of this? There's some like
the tough, as opposed to like, are you the kind of quarterback who will take the hit and deliver the throw because it's open and Kyle Shanahan schemed it up, or are you going to abandon the open throw and run around? You know what I'm saying? He wants the guy to stand in and take the hit, but that's why his quarterbacks go down all the time. That's what you want. That's what you coach.
Did you see that chart that Warren Sapp put out regards to? So he put out a chart last 5 years about yak versus depth of target, and Kyle Shanahan's offense has been towards the very top in yak every year, but also towards the very bottom in yards per target. And I think Kyle Shanahan focuses too much on this offensive scheme that he has, and it also is directly related, in my opinion, to why they are the most injured team, because they're depending on yak. They're depending on guys running through multiple targets. And it speaks on the system that Kyle Shanahan believes in. And I think he needs to maybe adjust his system towards the players he has. And I think that's the mistake he made with Trey Lance, in my opinion.
I think it's funny how the Jimmy Garoppolo experience kind of shaped Kyle Shanahan's view of quarterbacks. Like, I'm guessing Jimmy wouldn't score so high on this test. No offense, and maybe I'm wrong. I'm just guessing that this is not a Jimmy Garoppolo test, man. Decision-making, quick decisions, that's not what he does on the field. Maybe in life. Yeah. But maybe not in the field. So I couldn't see. So maybe from Kyle's perspective, man, if I could just find a real test that really showed me who the quick, good decision-makers were out there, that's what I need. And that's what he got. Also, with Brock, they kept making a big deal of it when he was drafted. Never missed a game due to injury. Like, they were trying to jinx it. Never missed a game due to injury. And then you put him on the Niners' first start, injured. A start, seriously injured. And so that maybe that says something about Kyle. Hey, Kyle, you took a guy who'd never gotten hurt, and you got him hurt, or he got hurt under your watch. What can you do about it? Yeah.
There's not enough focus on protecting these quarterbacks, in my opinion. Like, that has to
Is there any focus on it?
Yeah, I don't think there is. I think it's, obviously he takes in the scheme of protection into account, but not at a high enough priority. Like, it has to be one of the main focuses of every play is protecting your quarterback. He doesn't calculate risk versus reward for any player, not just quarterback. And I think that's something that he needs quality control to step in and oversee.
What was funny is, like, sometimes he does it well, though, right? Like, if he goes against, like, when he went against the Cowboys, he didn't let Micah Parsons wreck the game. He approached Micah Parsons with the appropriate respect. When he plays the Rams, he never lets Aaron Donald wreck the game. He has very specific game plans on offense, like, look, we're going to get the ball out quick. We're not going to tempt fate here. For whatever reason, he decided that the Eagles needed to be exposed. So on that, first drive, he called that really slow developing 7-step drop play action. Like, oh, you guys are a yak team. What the hell are you doing? You can't block that. Yeah. And so they didn't block it. So I don't understand why you even call that. Like, you are a yak team with a quarterback who looks like he's 11 years old, who's back there because he has a quick first step and he's a Pentium 2 processor in his head. That's it. Protect him. Get the ball out of his damn hands. That's why you like him, right? Because he can get the ball out of his hands quick. Well, don't call a 7-step drop.
Yeah, especially when you want him to step up in the pocket and he's not stepping up into the pocket. That's not something Brock Purdy really did all year. It just doesn't seem like he calculates these type of things. And then why are you running play action so early? I know a lot of people say you don't have to run the ball to run play action. I get that. But it feels like in this particular game, it would have been smarter to run the ball a few times and establish that, see how the defense is responding before you actually run a play action.
I mean, if you want to call that play, you can't have just a Pentium 2 processor at quarterback. You need Trey Lance. You need a big body who's also smart, who can step up in the pocket. And you also need a better tight end than Tyler Kroft. If you want to block a serious edge rusher with a tight end, don't do it with Tyler Kroft. You got to draft a tight end this year. We'll talk about that as well. So I love the cognitive test. I love this. This is new information, but I'm a little worried that the Niners are going to like go all in with just, I'm going to say nerds at quarterback, but like just students, non-athletes at quarterback. You got to get both. That's why Lance is so intriguing. He is both. And maybe Purdy's both too. He's very quick. I think one of the things I was most intrigued about Purdy was how well he moved.
Yeah.
How well he moved and went off script. That's what I think is intriguing about him. Not how quickly he processes and does what Kyle says. Because frankly, how good was Purdy really at processing? He checked the ball down relentlessly. Is that processing?
Towards the end, yeah. I will say he's better than Jimmy by far. Like, he will actually look at fields. He'll go through his first, second, third reads.
Is he Drew Brees though? I don't know about that.
I'm not ready to call him Drew Brees or any Hall of Fame quarterback at this point. Just like I'm not ready to write off Trey Lance, I'm not ready to crown Brock Purdy. I got to see more. We'll see about that.